All right, so you want to find some killer business ideas,
That's the dream. Right.
but honestly, sometimes it can feel like, I don't know, like looking for a needle in a haystack
Yeah.
or a unicorn in a parking lot.
Okay, I like that one.
Well, don't worry, because in this deep dive, we're going to break down this awesome article all about sparking innovation and how to get those creative juices flowing.
Yeah, it's funny, but some of the most successful business ideas come from like things that just bug us every day.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, think about it. What's a problem that you face all the time? That frustration, that could be your $1 million idea.
That's a good point. So you're saying like our everyday annoyances could actually be like hidden treasures. I
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
So how do we train ourselves to actually see them that way? Like what are people always complaining about? What bugs not?
Yeah, the article actually suggests keeping a notebook handy. Like, just to jot down those little annoyances that pop up throughout the day.
Hmm.
And it sounds simple, but those frustrations are often like a gold mine of unmet needs,
Like a gold mine.
just waiting for a solution.
Okay, so now are you ready to ride the wave of the future?
Always.
Okay. So the article calls this riding the wave
Hmm.
of emerging trends. Basically, you want to spot these big shifts in technology, society, consumer behavior early on
Yeah.
and see where they might take us.
It's all about being ahead of the curve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are some of the big examples in the article?
Well, they dive into some pretty fascinating ones. So you've got artificial intelligence, blockchain,
Oh, yeah.
and the circular economy, and of course, the rise of remote work.
I mean, those are huge.
Absolutely.
Like those aren't just buzzwords. They're like those are forces that are, I mean,
Yeah, they're changing the game.
they're changing the game. Yeah. Okay, so it's not just about like moving things online, right?
Hmm.
It's about finding those clever ways to use tech to actually make things better.
Exactly.
Like what if you could automate all that annoying paperwork you hate?
Ugh. Yeah.
Or create an app that makes like a super complicated process,
Yeah.
stupid simple.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just tech, too. The article also talks about, the demand for sustainable and ethical products. Consumers are just so much more conscious now about where their products come from, the impact they have.
Right. Right. So it's not just about what you're selling, it's about how you're selling it.
Yeah, like the whole story
Yeah,
matters.
the whole story matters now.
Totally.
Okay. Now this is kind of a different concept I think you'll find pretty intriguing. Cross-pollination of ideas.
Okay.
So you're basically borrowing inspiration from different industries.
Interesting.
So like what works in one field that could be adapted to another,
That's cool.
right? So it's like thinking outside the box, but you're not just thinking outside your box.
Yeah.
You're peeking into somebody else's box,
Yeah.
seeing what cool tools they have.
I love that. So, like, imagine taking the principles of, let's say, the sharing economy. Mm-hmm.
Which have been hugely successful in areas like transportation, lodging,
Yeah.
and applying them to a totally different industry.
Ooh.
What could you create?
Okay, so before we get too carried away with, reinventing the wheel, the article does remind us that innovation isn't always about, like, groundbreaking inventions, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's just about making those smart improvements to what already exists.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I think you're spot on. I mean, think about it. What product or service do you use that, has like an annoying flaw or that could be made just a little bit better?
Oh, I bet everyone has one.
Could you make it, more cost effective?
Yeah?
Or maybe improve its efficiency, the quality? Or maybe it just needs to be more convenient.
Ooh, that's a great question for you to consider.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another key point the article brings up, the power of digital transformation.
Absolutely. It's huge.
Right.
It's amazing how digital technology is just creating this whole universe of opportunities. Yeah, it's true. So the article points to things like, automating manual processes, creating user-friendly online services,
Yeah.
and then, of course, leveraging those software as a service models, or SaaS, as the cool kids call it.
Sauce. Gotta love sauce.
I know. But think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
Could you create an app that helps people, I don't know, track their fitness goals or budget their finances or learn a new language?
Yeah. I mean, the potential is enormous.
It really is. And it's really cool? The article reminds us that some of the best business ideas come from like scratching your own itch.
Oh, that's so true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're struggling with a problem and you can't find a good solution, chances are other people are facing that same frustration.
Absolutely.
It's like that classic entrepreneur story. They had a problem, They couldn't find a solution.
Yeah.
So they just created it themselves, and boom, they tapped into this much larger market
Right,
for
exactly.
people with that same unmet need. So think about it. What's a problem in your life that you wish someone would just like come and fix?
Yeah,
That could be your golden ticket.
absolutely.
All right, I'm already feeling inspired. This article is packed with some great stuff.
It really is. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, no.
There's so much more to explore, so be sure to tune in for part 2, where we'll, continue our deep dive into the fascinating world of innovation.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
See you then.
Yeah. All right, great. Last time we were talking about everything from spotting those everyday problems to, riding the wave of emerging trends.
Right.
But the article doesn't stop there.
Oh, no, not even close. It goes even deeper into how to, like, actually turn those sparks of inspiration into, real business ideas.
Okay, I like it.
One of the key takeaways is, understanding that the consumer landscape, it's always changing.
Right, because the world's
The
changing.
world's changing. The people buying all this stuff are changing, yeah.
Exactly.
So what are some of the big shifts that the article highlights?
Well, they point to some really interesting trends, like, for example, the rise of the sharing economy. That's huge.
Yeah.
People are way more open now than ever to sharing resources,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's cars or homes or even skills.
It's like that whole access over ownership.
Exactly.
I
People want the experience, not necessarily the thing itself.
Yeah.
And that actually ties into another trend the article mentions, which is the demand for personalized experiences.
Okay.
Consumers are kind of over that one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
They want products and services that are tailored to their specific needs.
But it's not enough to just have a great product anymore.
No.
You have to think about how to make it special.
Yeah, make it feel unique for each customer.
Yeah, I got it.
And of course, we can't forget the growing demand for sustainability.
Oh, well, of course not.
Consumers are just becoming so much more aware of the impact their choices have on the environment.
Yeah.
And they're looking for businesses that, that share those values.
Right. The article talks about companies that are incorporating sustainable practices, offering eco-friendly products, ethical sourcing, all that.
Yeah, it's great to see how businesses are kind of stepping up and finding these innovative ways to be both, profitable and responsible.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all these amazing insights about consumer trends and all that stuff, but how do we actually put them into action?
Well, the article, it stresses this point about testing and refining your ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Before you go all in.
Don't just jump in.
Right, exactly.
yeah.
You want to make sure there's a market for it.
Test the waters.
Test it out.
Get that feedback.
Get that feedback.
And refine it.
Exactly. So the article recommends things like conducting surveys, maybe organizing focus groups, and even creating a minimum viable product.
Yeah, that MVP.
The MVP, yeah.
That's such a smart concept. It's like a sneak peek
It is.
of your product or service.
Yeah.
But you get that feedback before you invest all the time and money.
Absolutely.
I like that.
And speaking of tapping into that collective wisdom, the article also talks about this idea of crowdsourcing.
Outsourcing.
Crowdsourcing. Oh, yeah. It's like harnessing the power of the people.
It is.
You're tapping into all that collective intelligence of a group to generate ideas or solve problems or even fund projects.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the article highlights a bunch of different ways to do it. You can use platforms like Kickstarter to raise funds. You can, engage with communities on Reddit or other forums to get ideas.
Yeah.
Or even launch contests or challenges to kind of encourage these creative solutions.
And what I really love about it is it not only gives you access to all these different perspectives,
Right.
but it helps you build a community
Around your idea.
from the beginning.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another, I think this is an inspiring concept that the article touches on, which is social entrepreneurship.
Oh, yes. I love it.
Innovation with a heart.
It's so cool. It's about combining profit with purpose.
Yeah.
Creating businesses that not only make money, but also made a difference.
So it's like finding solutions that benefit both people and the planet.
Exactly.
What are some of the examples that the article gives?
Well, it talks about businesses that are tackling big issues like poverty, education, healthcare, climate change.
Oh, wow.
I mean, these entrepreneurs are so passionate about making a difference,
Yeah.
and they're using their businesses to do it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
It is.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to just circle back to a point we made earlier about testing and refining ideas,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because it's so important.
It is tempting to get all excited and just, like, dive right in.
I know.
But taking that time.
But that step
Yeah.
can save you so much headache later.
It really can.
So how do we do that? Well, gather feedback from potential customers, conduct some market research, maybe even start with that minimum viable product,
The MVP.
the MVP, just to test things out.
So many great strategies to get feedback, to refine that idea.
Exactly.
Okay, I feel like we've covered so much.
I know, right?
But we're not done yet.
We're not done. There's still more to come, so stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive.
I'm ready. All right, so we are back for the final part of our deep dive on innovation.
I know. Can you believe it? We've covered so much already.
I know, it's flown by.
It has.
But I feel like my brain is like overflowing with all these ideas.
I know, right?
Okay, so is there like one final gem you want to pull out from the article?
Yeah. It kind of goes back to something we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
It's this idea of like the power of observation.
Oh.
The article, it really emphasizes this point over and over again, like paying attention to the world around you.
Like being a detective almost.
Yeah, exactly. Like, noticing those little details, the things that other people might miss.
The things that other people just walk right by.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's not just about, like finding business ideas.
Like-
It's like a mindset,
Oh, okay.
It can really help you in like all areas of your life.
So whether you're, like brainstorming that new product or trying to solve a problem at work or even just trying to make your like daily routine more efficient, you're saying that ability to just observe and analyze is key.
It's huge. Yeah.
Okay.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
let's recap some of those key takeaways.
Okay.
We talked about the importance of identifying those problems, both big and small, and seeing them as opportunities.
Yeah. Hidden opportunities.
Exactly.
I like that.
We also explored, the whole riding the wave of emerging trends thing.
You like digitalization, sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
that shift toward like more personalized experiences.
Yeah, and we can't forget about borrowing inspiration from other industries.
Cross-pollination.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We dove into, the digital world, that evolving consumer landscape, the importance of testing and refining those ideas.
Yeah. Test.
Test.
And of course, that really cool world of social entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so much good stuff, right?
So much.
But, the article, it's really just a starting point.
Yeah.
It's like it's given us a roadmap, a framework.
Work, yeah.
But the real magic happens when you take those insights and you apply them to, your own unique perspective.
Your own passions, your own experiences.
Exactly.
It's about like making it your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what problems are you going to solve? What change are you going to make?
I love that. The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
And who knows, maybe the next time we do a deep dive, we'll be talking about your amazing idea.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this whole thing. It's all about empowering people to just think differently, to see the world with fresh eyes, and to just go out there and create something new,
Absolutely.
something innovative.
And that's what the deep dive is all about.
It really is.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those innovative ideas flowing.
Yes. Until next time, stay curious.